Okay. Okay, as last class I mentioned that from today we're going to start the new book, um, to call Buddhist Buddhacharya Avtara, where Bodhisattva are alive. They have a 10 chapter, and I gave first 3 chapter, and starting from chapter 4th. The first 3 chapters are there are many useful in our daily life, but more refers to the Buddhist. So that from chapter 4 or 5th, it's refers with anyone who believe or non-believers. So and then it's just very useful in our daily life. So therefore, started from chapter 4. And then the chapter 4, the main topic is either conscientiousness or good morning, conscientiousness or heedfulness. That's how they translate it. Tibetan we call Pagyo, and in Sanskrit they call Abramada. So, and then the heedfulness or consciousness might be a little bit different than what you understand, according to good morning, it looks like very fresh. So according to Shantideva, the chapter 4th. It is regarding the Buddhist psychology, that heedfulness or carefulness is the mental state. It's not the actions or physical. It's mental state, and the one part of the mind which is more careful to not engaging any negative actions. So kind of like a restraining to engaging negative actions. And then the opposite, it's more too enthusiastic to follow virtuous actions. That's kind of mind we call carefulness or heedfulness. It's clear. So that's what the topic is. We should know what is the main topic's meaning. And then look, it's good to understand lack of heedfulness in order to understand heedfulness. So, and then again, let me repeat it. The kind of like a definition of heedfulness refers on Shantideva chapter 4. It is saying that the mind or mental state, or the mind which is relying on the 3 positive things, which is like a detachment and what's called unhatred. You use the term unhatred or not hatred. The mind is
usually the opposite of hate is love, but
it's not the opposite. Yeah, okay. No. The mind we call like a not hatred or not ignorance. So these 3. So non-attachment and not hatred or the rely on based on these 3, part of the enthusiastic, and then engaging, wants to engage to virtuous action and restraining the non-virtuous actions. That's kind of definition of heedfulness. So And again, in order to knowing those definition, again, we need to know this. It's not exactly opposite of three poison. The three poison is attachment, ignorance, and hatred, right? And sorry,
The 3 points, can you repeat?
the ignorance, attachment, and hatred.
Hatred is aversion. How does aversion? Aversion was one of the 3 poisons.
Hatred, angry.
Is aversion.
It's a translation. It's often translated hatred as aversion.
Aversion, yeah, aversion,
But it's
okay.
easy-
Aversion,
but it's
hatred is
easier
same,
to
yeah.
think of it as hatred because
Okay.
we don't generally use the word aversion.
It is, yeah, hatred and aversion is same, yeah. It's kind of deep anger, right? So these three are the three poison, and either you can say the opposite of three poison. Opposite of three poison, the love is not the opposite. Love is the antidote of the anger, right? Hatred. It's not the opposite. Opposite three are, which is not those three. And the mind, which is not those three, again, need to know just any mind which is not having hatred is the opposite of hatred or some different there, right? So we cannot count it any thought which is opposite of hatred, which is not hatred, is not the exactly opposite of hatred, which is which I'm mentioning here, three opposite of the three poison. Okay, so so again, any mind which is not hatred is not the opposite of the hatred. Okay,
Wait, say that one more time. No.
any mind which is not hatred or not aversion
Okay.
is not the opposite of aversion.
Emotion.
Aversion.
Aversion. Got it.
Aversion.
My ears are still clogged. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, it could be my pronunciation. So, so and then what is the opposite of three poison? Say, first I will explain the opposite of attachment, which I can call non-attachment, right? So the attachment and non-attachment both are observing on the same things, observing on the same. Like I say, what you have attached, you usually say beautiful flower, that we have attached to the beautiful flower, right? And non-attached will be observed same in a beautiful flower, but the aspect is different. Observing on the same, attachment is more liking or wanting, and non-attachment is more disgusting. When look at the flower, having more disgusting. Attachment, look at the flower to like or wanting. That's how we have to understand opposite, right? Say it's not just not. Of course, that you will not have attached to the ugly things.
Is it?
You will not have attached to ugly things, right? This is not the opposite of the attachment. Okay, so in another way to say, attachment is part of the mental affliction. Non-attachment is the part of the virtuous mind, right? So based on that, I try to explain or describe what is non-attachment, right? So you don't have an attach on ugly things. That not counted the opposite of attachment, right? So now, what is the opposite of attachment? Something that brings you attached before, but right now, when you observe the same things, it not having attached. It's more disgusting. That's a non-attachment.
Is it disgusting or just no emotion, no reaction?
More disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So that's not attachment.
Huh. So think of a flower as ugly, so I won't attach to it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. The neutral mind, I don't think that when you observe in these things and having some kind of neutral mind is an opposite of attachment. It's not really. It's more disgusting.
Indifference.
That's
Indifference
what I was
is
thinking,
a kind
indifferent.
is a kind of non-attachment.
Indifference.
Indifference. So
You
you
don't
don't
have a
care.
positive or
You
negative,
don't have
you
any.
care.
They don't
It's
care.
just a
It's, it
Could
is
be, could not be. Doesn't.
it is not counted non-attachment. It's neutral mind. It is neutral.
Neutral. Okay.
It's not the non-attachment.
Oh.
Whereas any mind is not become a non-attachment.
So Geshe, to look at something as disgusting, I mean, it sounds more like neutral or indifference. That's what makes sense, because if you look at something as disgusting, okay, then you create negative feelings in yourself by looking at something as disgusting. So all of a sudden you get into a different problem now. You have negative feelings because you look at something like disgusting. Okay, so now you try to stop non-attachment, stop attachment, but you got now into a new problem that you look at something as disgusting. Why you have to look at something as disgusting as an antidote of attachment?
Okay, let me explain here. It's not something disgusting. Okay, you are not disgusting. It's not counted. Any disgusting thing is opposite of attachment. Right? That you have a disgusting on something that not necessary is opposite of attachment. Opposite of attachment has to be same object which you have attached.
Right.
Which you have attached before, and then right now you are disgusting. So the neutral mind is not counted as a detachment or non-attachment. So neutral mind can be sleeping, like sleeping is neutral mind. Is this you count it detachment or non-attachment?
Sleeping, you mean really sleeping?
Yeah, sleepy. Yeah, sleepy.
Sleepy, you are not conscious. It doesn't count.
Sleepy is not conscious. Then how come you have dream?
Yeah, when you don't always remember your dreams.
Huh?
He says
If you don't remember your dream, you see, you go into a different territory now. The example,
We having dream, right?
yeah. So, but if you don't
And
remember,
then should be some conscious functioning at the moment. Otherwise, we cannot have dream.
okay, so
So therefore, sleepy mind is not counted unconscious. Someone comes, you touch your body, you wake up immediately. It's conscious is there. It's more sleep, right? It's not counted. Unconscious is different, isn't it? Unconscious is almost you're not feeling it. So therefore, sleeping mind is neutral mind, but is not the opposite of attachment.
you try to use the example of that consciousness exists during sleeping to explain why non-attachment, you have to actually have a feeling of disgust to the thing you were attached before. Are you trying to use that as an example to prove that?
Well,
I didn't understand what he said.
okay. Chappelle.
Can you repeat that again?
Okay. He's trying to, I told him that it's not necessary to have disgust towards something that you were attached to before in order to have non-attachment, because then you create negative feelings, like you start hating something if it's disgusting to you. So you're trying to solve the problem of being attached. Now you get into a new problem of being disgusted. So then, so I thought it was not necessary. So he started telling us that sleepiness is not the opposite of being awake, because
I know. I was here for this, just like the
I
last.
don't understand the connection. I don't understand how he's trying to explain that disgust is necessary to get rid of attachment. The same thing.
Get rid of attachment. I'm not saying that. Get rid of attachment. Again. So first you have to listen careful, then question come, okay? Right now, the number one, I try to explain the heedfulness, which is refers to Shantideva text. It's according to Buddhism. How Buddhists explain heedfulness. Hatefulness. Sorry. Non-attachment. We go that way. Non-attachment.
Heedfulness?
Sorry. I will take back. So because we're taking example attachment, right? So first stay with the example, same the attachment, non-attachment. I try to explain non-attachment according to Buddhists. So then once I explain according to Buddhists, if you read another Buddhist book, then you can bring the same like a discussion, right? So otherwise, in general, it's different than the Buddhist definition. So right now, first let me explain that opposite of attachment according to Buddhists, because according to Shantideva text, it should be the Buddhist, right? So according to Buddhist way, then let me explain what is opposite of attachment. Then I brings here, it's the same object which you have attached. It's not counted any object. So the same object that where attachment absorbing, same object where non-attachment should absorb. But the different feeling is one is more attached or like it, one is or more disgusting. That's the exactly opposite. We are looking opposite of attachment. Right? So we are not looking any kind of feeling, discussion, or any kind of the discussing on any object, not bringing all those issues here. So here is the opposite of attachment is the one is attached, one is disgusting. That's the opposite. On a same object. That's the first, let me explain. And then furthermore, and in general, the neutral mind, you don't care. Something that you don't care, which I said in general, it is not the opposite of attachment. If it is opposite of attachment, then I bring some kind of topic here, how about the sleepy mind? Is this attachment or not attachment? Because it is part of one of the mind which is neutral, right? So this is how it comes. Yeah.
Is it possible?
Open for questions and.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a very difficult experience with my daughter, and I felt very disengaged, non-attachment. I didn't suffer. I just felt very neutral.
Okay.
And I was very happy about that because a year ago I would have been a mess, right? So I don't feel like I think what you're saying, what I'm hearing is attachment. I don't find my daughter disgusting, but I feel like that's also attachment. If I have a big story that she's disgusting, it's equally as attached to the idea that she's fabulous, right? So the fact that I feel neutral in the face of the upset makes me feel very good.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the good example then. So you have very much attached to your daughters. Of course, every parent does that, right? And then somehow, some reason, it changed you.
Right.
So now it's your neutral.
I'm neutral.
Right? So therefore, that neutral, what I try to explain, that neutral is not called is non-attachment. That neutral could be numb, right? So it's not the call is non-attachment. Non-attachment means like if you see that word is very strong, but still I will use it like disgusting,
Yeah.
right? So say we are not, in general, I can use the Buddhist term, say we are not attached on samsaric pleasures. That means you are disgusting on samsaric pleasure. That's the renunciation, right? Renunciation is disgusting on samsaric pleasures. So it's not just you careless or not care or you don't have any feeling. So it's not counted as a opposite of attachment. It's not counted as non-attachment, right? So everything you don't have a feeling. If you think everything is which is don't have a feeling, it's a non-attachment, then tree could be have a non-attachment. Rock could be have a non-attachment because they don't have any feeling. I'm using logic that right. So that the rock and tree don't have any feeling. But we not say tree and rock does not have attached or not attached. We're not thinking on it, right? So therefore, if you really wants to know that according to Buddhist non-attachment, the non-attachment means disgusting on some same object which you have attached or someone have attached.
Is it possible that that disgust is the first step? You need a strong step, which disgust is a very strong step.
I understand. That's how we described.
Right. So disgust is a very strong step that you need at the beginning to get rid of the attachment. But after you got rid of the attachment, you have to maintain that disgust feeling. I don't think the Buddha was walking around feeling disgusted about all the things that he was not attached to. So maybe that's the.
So it looks like what you want to know is no feeling could be the non-attachment.
After developing,
if you really wish to to understand or wish to know that this is the non-attachment.
I know what you're saying. I got it.
Right? No feeling is non-attachment. I cannot say no feeling is non-attachment.
So let me,
Uh-huh.
So I can look at that flower and say it's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but it may not mean I have attachment to it. I can still call it beautiful.
But no attachment is not just,
But in
you don't have any feeling.
no feeling.
That's not counted no attachment. Therefore, I try to use the logic. If it is the non-attachment, no feeling is the non-attachment.
But that I get. Disgust I don't.
No. Now, disgusting is too strong word for you guys, right? So now, so really wishing that, or you are more analyzing, is the neutral feeling is the non-attached or not, right? My answer is neutral feeling is not the non-attachment. And what is the logic behind that, right? How you, what is the reason you saying neutral feeling is not the non-attachment, right? So if neutral feeling is not attachment, then why sleepy mind is why not sleepy mind is non-attachment? Do you have any answer for that?
I think you can have attachment in your sleeping mind. I could dream about that car that I want. And I can have dreams daily about the things
Yes,
I want.
but general is sleepy mind is neutral or not neutral?
It depends.
It depends. Okay, let me find it out, some kind of neutral mind, okay? So let's say you have a distracted, right? Say you are now, look at the flower, and then you got a distracted. Hi, Sigurd. Good morning. So you got a distracted. And then now your mind is more distracted, right? And then kind of like you lost. by distracted. At that moment, mind, I'm not saying every mind, okay? At that moment, mind is neutral or not neutral.
Not neutral,
How?
because you're having some sort of an emotion.
You lost.
You what?
Okay, but okay, you lost, right? Some emotion, but it does have a like a attached flower or not.
You're asking me the question. If I think it's disgusting, I won't attach to it.
No, not disgusting.
He's talking
What I picked an example here.
Say it again. What's the words?
he's saying like in the moment, like after you see the flower and you like it and you're attached to it, and then you're distracted by something else, like your attention is pulled from the flower, like your mind on the flower. That's like a neutral period for the flower, because your attention is pulled from it. Like you're not attached to it anymore because you're not distracted by something else. So I think he's saying that is like the neutral state of mind.
Got it. Okay.
And another point here, example, what is the opposite of liking?
Liking?
Or wanting?
Lacking or liking?
Liking.
L-I-K-E.
Dislike.
Dislike. Exactly opposite?
I think so. Like, dislike.
Huh?
Yeah.
Dislike is opposite of liking.
Yeah.
Right? Is this, like I say, then any other mind, every single other mind is opposite of liking or not. Because all others' minds are disliking.
I feel like if I like something or dislike something, I'm still clinging to both.
You disliking is still clinging?
You can have an attachment to disliking.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I feel like I can still be attached.
Geshe,
Disliking is still attached? How is it? How is it?
Because it's creating a sense that I wish it were otherwise, and I'm attached to the outcome. If I dislike something, I have a story that it should be different, and that would make.
But object should be the one same object, right? But you dislike here, you like other is not counted. You dislike here, you clinging this one, the microphone.
I feel yes.
Oh, okay. Clinging means what? Like you are still attached it, you want it.
Yeah.
And then disliking and want it. How come together? Is there any combination mind there? Dislike and want.
See,
Or
Geshe,
being there.
Actively dislike it.
I like, for example, the war in Iran. You know, I dislike the suffering.
Yeah.
And I'm
Don't change the object, okay? Object should be same.
the microphone.
But here I don't know, whatever you picked up.
Yeah.
Whatever pick up, right? So if you say Iran war, you are more have compassion to the people suffering. And if you want something else, that's changing that object.
Yeah.
No, not change object. We are talking about the one object. But otherwise, there we do have so numerous mind, liking to something, don't liking to something. But these two are not same.
Why wouldn't?
These two are not same because object is totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mess up.
Geshe, your example, that's the danger with examples. Your example proves my point. Because let's say you like something. You like a person or you like coffee. Then one day you say, I don't like that person anymore. You don't have to dislike the person. You decide you don't like him anymore, and that's the end of it. Or you think that coffee is not good for you. You don't like coffee anymore. You don't have to dislike the person. You don't have to dislike the coffee. You just stop liking them. Okay? So your example is not a good example.
Oh, come on.
Which one? Which one is good? Which one is?
Well, let's move on.
About the like and dislike.
Okay.
The example that you just mentioned is what Gesela was just saying. If you stay on the same object, then what you thinking is correct. But what Geshe is trying to say is that when we say that non-attachment to an object, okay, are not necessarily be the same. It's not necessarily equal because the everything else that is not attachment to that object is a superset. So it may include some other mind, different mind towards something else, not necessarily toward the same object. And that's why that equation is not correct. That's why the Geshe said it's not equal. That's what he meant.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So anyhow, so again, take your time to think in your home. So my statement is saying here, non-attachment, any neutral feeling is not the non-attachment. Non-attachment, that non has to be something refers. It's not the neutral feeling, right? So non-attachment is the opposite of the attachment. Right? So therefore, think that non-attachment. So then you will understand any neutral feeling is non-attachment or not. Right? So then we should take the separate time for discussion on it. So, okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
You know, I'm just a little confused. Is this from is this from the Shanti Devi?
Shanti Deva text, yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I really like to focus on
Yeah.
patience.
So therefore, let me repeat the statement here, talking about attachment and opposite of attachment, which is non-attachment. So attachment and non-attachments are absorbing on a same object with a different feeling or different aspect. Exactly opposite. One is like it, one is don't like it, right? One is attach it, one is disgusting it. So that's the exactly opposite. So non-attachment. Therefore, non-attachment here, the Buddhist psychology, the non-attachment is virtuous mind. Virtuous mind. Any neutral feeling is not necessarily virtuous mind. Okay, so non-attachment is virtuous mind, exactly opposite of the attachment. And the further here, other two, no hatred is also virtuous mind, and non-ignorance is also virtuous mind. All this we're talking based on who do have conscious and feeling and functioning. Right? So which is more talking about the human's feeling or any sentient being's feeling, right? So therefore, the exactly opposite of no hatred, that again, this goes same definition, should be observing on the same object which you have hatred. And then other mind, which not hatred, means you hate it, now you are not hating it, right? So looking, that not hating is not the neutral, the mind. It is not the neutral feeling. Not hating means it's more toward to love, right? We cannot say exactly it's love, but it's more toward to love. So it connected with the love. So that's not hating. There has to be some kind of compassion there, right? Again, it's not exactly compassion, but some kind of there. So some feeling there, right? It's not the neutral feeling. Both attachment and non-attachment has a feeling. Both hatred and non-hatred has a feeling, same feeling, and ignorance and non-ignorance as well, same. So therefore, the opposite of three poison is which is the basis of what we're talking today is heedfulness, the heedfulness, right? The basis of heedfulness is the opposite of three poisons, which is three virtuous mind. Three virtuous mind, okay? Three virtuous mind. Again, when we say three virtuous mind, it shouldn't be the neutral feeling, virtuous means something you're thinking, right? So three virtuous mind that you're relying or based on it. And then what is the the cause of the heedfulness is enthusiastic or joyful effort. So based on opposite of three poison and having enthusiastic and restraining to engage that negative actions and or engaging virtues is the definition of heedfulness.
Can you say that word just one more time? I'm so sorry. It's heedfulness?
Heedfulness or conscientiousness.
Okay, thank you. I was
Okay.
just trying to look it up.
Yeah. I think Heead.
HEED.
Heed, right? Heedfulness, yeah. Okay. So you're clear now?
Yeah.
Because why we takes time for explain the heedfulness, because that's the exactly we have to use it to overcome any obstacle and negative thoughts. Then you will understand how useful it is or not. So therefore, you should know clear the heedfulness. What is the heedfulness? Which we're going to use for our daily practice. Okay? You're clear now, right?
Yeah, much more. I think I was getting confused with the word heedfulness.
Okay. So, and then final one. So let me repeat it, say it correctly, the definition of heedfulness according to Buddhist psychology. Saying, the based on enthusiastic and the caused by opposite of three poison, and that mind more restraining to negative actions or engaging virtuous actions is the heedfulness. You are careful, but not careful how to cut tree. You are careful in the mind, which is how I abandon the negative actions. You are more careful to abandoning negative actions. You are more careful to engaging the virtuous actions. This is the heedfulness difference here. Is clear? We not count any careful is the part of this heedfulness, right? It has a specific definition. You can say one if you have a different definition on careful or heedfulness, then you can think this is the one of the heedfulness which is we need it in our daily life, right? Okay, it's mental state to thinking, restraining or engaging, and then the based on enthusiastic, and then it should be that mind should be having caused by opposite of three poison. Once you have a non-attachment, then you will have this. When you have a no hatred, then you will have this. When you have no ignorance, then you will have this kind of heedfulness. But if your mind is strongly associating with the three poison, then you will have a lack of heedfulness, right? So strong, like associating with the three poison, always drive you to negative thoughts and negative actions. Is this clear? Okay. So therefore, the lack of having heedfulness and then having heedfulness is really depend on three poison or opposite of three poison. At the moment, your mind is more refers with the opposite of three poison, then it's very much possible that you can have the heedfulness. If your mind is more associated with the three poison strongly, then it's you will constantly having lack of heedfulness, which is careless.
Lack of heedfulness.
Yeah, a lack of heedfulness is careless, right? Okay. So that is the definition now, and then in simple term, I use to explain the heedfulness is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the heedfulness. Okay, so or self-awareness, or you can say self-teaching, self-advising. You advise yourself to yourself, right? So those kind of considered as a heedfulness, the simple way, right? So okay, so that, but again, you should clear know that is there anything that associating with the three poison is impossible to become heedfulness. It shouldn't be associating with the three poison, that mind, heedfulness. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Oh yeah. And then how? Let's say again, the furthermore explanations of what called the sutra here giving example that heedfulness is saying the very angry king punishing to someone else, to where the punishing is the very hard oil put in a pot and then carry on head and say you walk 10 steps. So at that 10 step, we'll be very careful to move, right? If a little bit move, then the hot oil will be the pour on your body. If you not move, and then king will kill you. It's very angry king, right? So this kind of feeling we need it when we engage the heedfulness. Very careful. It's not just simply, oh yeah, I like to do this, I have to do this. You need to work hard, strong focus, and careful. That needed. So therefore, giving example on this. This is the example that how much that person has to be careful, right? So so then 10 step is like a at the moment feeling that exactly we need it in our daily life. How much careful at the moment is clear. And then using the heedfulness, for example, like in our daily life, say when you see something, right? Immediately you're having a touch. Then at that moment you have to really careful say, oh, I shouldn't have a touch. Then you should have a lot of reason to why you shouldn't have attachment. Then again, let's say example, you are trying to harm to someone. At the moment, you should realize you are engaging bad actions, right? So, and then apply the reason, say, okay, I shouldn't harm to them or someone else. It will reflect to me. You're ruining all the environment, and it will be ruining the harmonies, and it will be destroying the peace, and so on, so on. Those reasons you should think at the moment when you're close to harms to someone else. So that heedfulness, carefulness to not engage or restraining engage to harming others is the one action of the heedfulness. So that's kind of things. And you're just alone by yourself in a home, and now your mind is thinking too much, like with the anger or with attachment, with the ignorance, and thinking too much. And there are moments your heedfulness should use it, think that, oh, I shouldn't think this kind of negative thoughts, which is associating with the three poison. You immediately you are stopping it to thinking it. And then further, you are more try to think the opposites, the virtues, the positives. So that's you are like a practicing heedfulness in our daily life, right? So, or you can, at the very beginning, your mind very careful say, I shouldn't think any negative, I shouldn't have any attachment, any ignorance and hatred, or so on, so on. But it's challenge. I know it's very challenge because our mind is very much habitual with the three poison. Strong, yeah.
I'm wondering when you say, I shouldn't think that way.
Uh-huh.
Part of me says, well, maybe I should try to figure out why I'm thinking this way also, instead of just saying I shouldn't be. I mean, there's something in your head that's off, or
Yeah.
you're not looking at things from a higher level, to see why I'm thinking that way.
That's exactly. So if it is help you to not thinking it, to analyzing why I'm thinking this, then you can use it as a stopping to thinking. And the point is stopping thinking, right? Then you are bringing the different reason why I'm thinking this. Then the danger is when you say why I'm thinking this, you may have 100 reasons to right to think this. That support you to think it. It's not really help you to stop to think it. At the very beginning, if you like really determined, say, I shouldn't think these thoughts are, this negative are, I shouldn't take these actions, then you will careful to not do it instead of why I'm thinking it. So why I'm thinking sometimes good, it can be change your thought and then bring it to the positive. Or why I'm thinking sometimes is bad, that you are continuous support those reasons. Why I'm thinking, then you might have some reason, right? Those reasons could be support to you think continuous. And I know that shouldn't think is really strong word. It's kind of like a giving you not chance. Shouldn't think. But how we can give you chance? If you like to think, welcome to think. It makes you happy. Welcome to do that. Right? You are right to do that. That's always I said, right? Something that is cause you suffering, and then Shantideva and all Buddha and all Masters are saying, then you should stop that. You shouldn't think it, you shouldn't take action because it cause you suffering. When our ordinary mind describe, I'm right to have anger, right? I'm right to have anger. That's very ordinary mind described it, not the logic mind describing it. Ordinary mind describing that I'm right to have anger. Then what can do it? Therefore say you are your protector, you are your enemies. No one can do it then. No one can do it because you are strongly thinking, I'm right to have anger. But at the same time, you are suffering. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you are welcoming a lot of suffering to thinking what you have to do right. Even if it's right, it causes you suffering, then why you not stopped it? Right? Therefore say, should stop it. You shouldn't think it. Yeah. Huh?
I'm just going back with thinking about what Sigrid said, and I do think, though, I hear what you're saying. I think the analysis sometimes, though, can be helpful in terms of understanding where that thought originated from. So I can think of an example where, let's say I'm in a situation and I'm grumpier or more reactive, or do you know what I'm saying, to people, like certain things will set me off. And I know if I'm being heedful that I try to avoid that. But when I think about what caused my mind to be that way, right? In this particular example, I realized that I didn't have enough time, I was tired, I was ill, I was grumpy, and so therefore my ability to think clearly was low, right? And therefore my actions towards people that I normally would try really, 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 really hard to have patience with was not as effective because of that. And so then it becomes problem solving. It's like, okay, how can I avoid that situation if I know my propensity to get grumpy or, you know, not so nice to people is when I'm tired or run down or overwhelmed, then how do I prevent from doing that? Is that's kind of how I try to use the analysis in there to try and understand what's driving the grumpiness, because most of the time it's not the person, it's actually me I'm mad at, you know, or something like that. You know, you realize I'm mad because I could have done this differently or whatever, and I'm taking it out on everyone around me. It's not fair. Is that?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So also, I'll give you an example that myself was having a situation last night and this morning. That I ignorantly to yell to someone, which I do not see all this right things behind there. I see the one wrong things in front of me. So then I yelled it. The one of the monks in monastery. And then finally he proved all his right things. And then at the moment my mind it's difficult to say sorry. I should say sorry. I should say sorry, right? But why I have a difficult to say sorry? Ego. Then I immediately change it. No. Because my aim is looking more harmonious and follow them rule and regulations. And then, but I do not see this. It's my ignorance. I immediately blame to my ignorance. Okay, it's my ignorance. And then it's bad things. I just click on the hand gesture but what goes is like laughing. What called cartoon? What's it? Emotion. I started laughing this. I realized after 1 hour, so bad. It's not really mean, but they literally take it, right? They literally take it because I did this. But immediately I realized that I just change it to the emotion, like a emoji. I change the emotion, and then I really think at the moment, okay, that's mind is calm. I know it is equal. So I shouldn't do that. As I'm giving advice or I'm being teacher to them. I should change myself first. And then I change it, no problem to say sorry. So that heedfulness at the moment, using it, it's very helpful. So far, everyone's happy now. But it's not takes hour and day, just 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, fix everything.
So I've never heard the word heedfulness in my life.
Me neither. This is the first time.
And so
me too.
it's been a very interesting switch to go from what I thought you were saying, hatefulness, for a long time.
I see.
I always bring my phone because I do ChatGPT and I Googled heedfulness in the Buddhist context. I heard what you said about our minds are predisposed to the three poisons, and that heedfulness is the practice of working our way out of those poisons on a continuous basis.
Oh, yeah.
And the more we work the heedfulness practice, the less inclined we are to fall into the trap of the three poisons. Totally get it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I spell heedfulness?
H-E-E-D.
Heedfulness. Very different from heedlessness.
I see.
Heedfulness.
And when you look it up, you have to say Buddhism.
Yeah, Tibetan Buddhism and
Or conscientiousness here translated as a conscientiousness.
Yes.
Conscientiousness. It's a little bit different than mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is tools to have heedfulness. It's kind of cause. Mindfulness is almost connected to the recollections, memory, recollections, right? So recollections necessarily needed once you're practicing conscientiousness or heedfulness. It's a little bit different. Mindfulness is not
We had a question
exactly.
here first waiting though.
Okay, please go ahead.
Sorry, Ronnie.
It's not really a question, I just found out that neuroscientists have studied intelligence. And what they've discovered is people who are able to really look at their own behaviors and think about their own thinking. Like Buddhists and, Eastern countries. And so I found that interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's great, yeah.
So, Geshe, apamada, basically the bottom line with apamada is,
Apramata, okay.
yeah, you gave one good example, the king that told the man to walk with a thing with boiling water on top of his head. Basically, you have to walk all day, being careful with full attention to the way you think, the way you act, everything around you. Like if we walking on a field full of mines, that if you're gonna step on that mine, you're gonna go away. And you mentioned ignorance. So let's say sometimes you develop a first reaction of hate. So a good technique, I think, I'm asking, is like say, oh, yeah, I can see that I can be hateful now, but that would be an ignorant reaction. I'm not ignorant, I'm hateful, therefore I will not hate right now. So basically you have to watch everything you do, everything around you, everything you think, everything you do, to be careful from the poisons. And if a poison comes up, then you say, okay, that would be a good reaction if I was ignorant. But I'm not ignorant. I'm practicing apamada. Therefore, I should not hate. Is that a good technique?
Yeah, he's talking about just in every action, watching your mind to do
yes.
the best thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Based on this conscientiousness.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think yes, it is.
Good.
So, and again, that giving you example here, the having heedfulness and lack of having heedfulness, what makes you different to having heedfulness and not having heedfulness, right? So Nagarjuna mentioning here in his letter to king or friends, say, who once lived in heedlessness, but later turned to the mindfulness, shines like the moon freed from clouds, as did Nanda, Angulamala, Ajatashatru, and Udayana. So these four persons giving us example how they were before when they have a lack of heedfulness or heedlessness, and after once they have a heedfulness, how they change. So here the giving Nanda and Angulimala, maybe most of you might be familiar with the Angulimala, who has a really, really strong anger, and then guided by the, misled by the wrong teacher, right? So, and at the Buddha time, the Angulimala was, when he was young, he's very intelligent, and then very strongly wishing some kind of liberation or free from suffering. And then unfortunately, he met one teacher, and then teacher guided, say, if you kill 1,000 people and have their thumbs as your mala, 1,000, then you will liberate it. Then he very much trusts that guidance, and then he follow it. Then he kills up to 999 people, and then he all those their thumbs makes the mala. So therefore he become a very, very angry person, kills and kills and kills 999 people, right? Never hesitate to killing those things. And then that is the example. He have a lack of heedfulness. And then finally he met the Buddha. And then Buddha is like walking on the street. And then he only one finger, one thumb he needed. Therefore he had to kill one person. And then he's searching and he never found it because every people are scared and hiding in their room. He couldn't find anyone in the street. Only his mother is near to him. So sometimes he thinks, I should kill my mother to get the thumbs. And suddenly he saw the Buddha walking on the street. Then he chased to Buddha and said, wait for me. And Buddha mind and his attitude is very calm. Then he said, don't you are scared to me? So actually first he said, wait for me. And then Buddha's answer is, I'm waiting forever. I'm just staying there. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm just staying there. Just very calmly said that. And then he sees the Buddha don't have any scare the attitude. Then he asks, don't you scare to me? Why should I scare to you? And then so on and so on. All the advice. He has a YouTube channel that if you want to look at the Buddha and part of the Angulimala shows it. And then finally, the Buddha advice changed his mind. Then he cries. Then he stopped to kill anyone's. Since then, he always have a heedfulness. Heedful. That what he have to restraining or what he have to engage. And his lifetime he become an arahat. Arahat is the result to having that consciousness. Before that, he killed 999 very strong, heavy negative karma, right? Now everything purified within his lifetime and become arahat. This is the result, having heedfulness and not. So Nagarjuna picked up, this is the one of the example. And as for follow, Nagarjuna picked up the Ajat Shastra, one of the king's son who put their father in prison and so on and so on. And Nanda, who have a very strong attachment. Nanda, who have a strong attachment, and then just follow attachment, how much did like a negative action, and then after the change, detachment, then how much he gained. And Angulimala is the example for who have a strong ignorance. Sorry about that. Who have a strong ignorance. So when he followed the ignorance, how much he created negative actions. And after he are having opposite of ignorance, then how much he gained. Same here, Ajat Shastra is very strong anger. He's the prince, and then finally he become a king that he put his father in jail. So very strong anger. And once you have anger, he put his father in jail and killed so many. That's the example for once they have lack of consciousness or heedful. And after he met Buddha and follow Buddha advice, then he changed it. Since then, he continues follow the heedful or consciousness. Even he not become an arahant in his lifetime, but he changed a lot and purified a lot of negative. Those three are the example that even person who have a strong attachment heedful can change it. Who have a strong anger, heedful can change it. Who have a strong ignorance, heedful can change it to everything. And finally, giving here Udayana as an example, who have a stronger, those three, all three are anger, attachment. And then once apply the opposite of three poisons, then he gain. The opposite of three poison is just neutral feeling, not gain anything. It's just your feeling will be neutral, but not gain anything. So therefore, I really emphasizedly try to explain that what are the opposite of the three poison is, should we have some kind of feeling, but exactly opposite. Therefore, disgusting comes on it. Yeah.
Do you have an example where you apply heedfulness to ignorance?
The Angulimala is the example.
That is the ignorance.
And then my last night,
Because I thought that was more around
ignorance,
hatred,
right?
But I thought that was more around hatred. The ignorance was that if he killed.
No. He ignorance because he follow his guidance.
Got it, and he didn't know better.
Yeah.
The ignorance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So ignorance, yeah.
Gotcha.
My last night one is ignorance. I do not know that. Yeah.
So like ignorance is a choice then, isn't it? You choose to be ignorant.
Yeah, I chose the ignorance, yes.
You had a choice.
Yeah, that's usually we do. Usually we choose the anger and attachment and ignorance. We not choose the
What about
opposite of
people who
three.
just haven't learned yet?
Yeah.
It's not always a choice if they don't have the consciousness to do better.
I can say still we do have a choice because we can change it. If we do not have a choice, we
You
cannot
have to
change
have that
anything.
light bulb go off to change your behavior and thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. So therefore, what we choose always the three poison, right? Because it's naturally there, innately there, and easily follow it, and then seeing it's useful in our daily life. But if you really choose the opposite of three, then you will change. That's how change. But this heedfulness is not only refers to the Dharma practice, it's also brings you any goal to change. Let's say if you wants to looking more peaceful in this lifetime, the heedfulness is necessary. And of course, next life on Arahant, on Buddhahood, the crucial, the basis to necessary for any practice. But even this life, calmness or peaceful, it's necessary. Therefore, we use word should or shouldn't, right? But should or shouldn't, where we use here, based on thinking in the future result, but you are not yet to decide should or shouldn't. You hear it should or shouldn't, but you have to analyze is really should or not. And if you find it out good to follow, it is should then. And then shouldn't to do any negative actions. That's shouldn't think it. That is how it comes, right? But we hear that you're not saying right now you shouldn't think it. But it's good to, in a future result, it's said here you shouldn't think it, but you take your time and analyze and conclude it. Then you will say shouldn't think it. And once you have this mind, then you can already block it, a lot of negative actions and negative thoughts. Because you already decided it's wrong. You already decided I never do these things. But if you are 50-50, then suffering will come and down. If you totally agreed, constantly having suffering, but totally reject it, then change it the more happy and peace. That's how I said it, right? So, so we are not deciding, and Shantideva is not deciding. So to your life, daily life, right? It's give you advices that way, should or shouldn't. And you should decide it, I should follow or not. And then finally will be change. Okay, so therefore, even in this lifetime goal, happy, or next lifetime, whatever goal, as well as you seeking the peaceful, then this is very basic practice necessary or prerequisite. The practice that heedfulness, shameless, shameful, and concerning others. These three is very important. Once you have these three, it will change it. Once do not have these three, will not change it. Right? And then within these three, the heedfulness is the very, very strong rooted cause to change ourselves. Is it clear? Okay. And then if you engaging, let's say now up to here, we are either Angulimala or Nanda or Ajatashatru, right? So now we want to become an opposite of these three. Then what you have to do is always think your negative action and negative thoughts which you had previous, and when you found it, try to have regret on it. That's the one way to do. And then in a moment, always focus or like a vigilance your mind, guided your mind to see it's connecting to negative or not. So, and then try to connect it with the opposite of theory poison, right? Have a heedfulness. And then also you think, I try not do these things in the future. I also learned this morning. I said, okay, I said it. I try not do this in the future. Right? So I do not, I have a regret what I said it to them. And because as change it at the moment, what are things, right? So otherwise cannot change it. And then I really committed to say, okay, now future I have to really careful. I shouldn't say directly, you did this or you did this. I'm just saying, okay, better do this way or better that way and just leave it there or whatever. I'm thinking what I should do in the future. I had a lot of things on this morning. How should I do in the future to make it better? This kind of like a commitment in the future, right? This is like a good, like it comes example for just before we talk this. This is, and then this is how we need to do. And then as well as you are practicing these three in daily life, then slowly you will having more stronger heedfulness and less lack of heedfulness, right? And then that's then how we can slowly change it, right? So really careful, because all the point we are using the five sense consciousness, then it brings us either attachment, aversions, or ignorance, right? Therefore, when you see something, at the moment, try to stop these three. When you hear something, at the moment, try to stop these three. These three means three poison, like not have attached, not aversions. I know it's not simple and easy, but it's we should take after 5 years, I'm going to change that much, but I know I should do a little bit changed right now, slightly change or not change it, but at least you can change that. Even you are not completely changed, but at least you change that. I know I'm doing this. You recognize it, your fault. It's counted as change, right? So, and then you recognize I shouldn't follow this. It's part of the change. Part of the change, not necessarily attachment to immediately non-attachment. It takes time. But in the middle, realizing that I'm doing wrong, it's my fault, that's a change, and that brings you to another change. And then one day, after 6 years, then I might have less attachment. I'm not completely gone, but less attachment. Less attachment is good result, then. Less aversion is good result, right? Less ignorance as well. So that's how we need to the process to training to use this heedfulness, change our life. Okay. So therefore, anytime you see, hears, touch, any feeling comes, at the moment you have to guide it and watch it, your mind. At the moment, feeling is associating with which kind of mental reflections or not. At the moment, feeling is suffering or not. At the moment, feeling is that connected to the heedfulness or not. All this you have to watch it. Then we can see the clear what we have to do, what we have to do, what we shouldn't do. Right? Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to stop here. And then I have a lot of sutra and other reasoning, other advisor said same way, which I repeated from there. So actual text we're going to start next class then.
Is it still chapter 4?
Sorry.
Is it still going to be a continuation of chapter 4? Or is it going to be another chapter for next class?
Yeah, continues. Now it continues from text.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4 means
Chapter.
chapter 4. Yes, yeah, chapter 4.
So
Yeah.
our homework is to read this
Yes,
every
yes,
day
yes,
during
yes.
the meditation. So Sunday we are familiar to do.
Yeah. The chapter 4 has 48 stanzas. And then within 48 stanza, I think the first 20 stanzas are, I can change here and there to bring more useful in our life. But the other 20 chapters are, we will literally read one by one. It's because very useful in our daily life.
This is the Bodhisattva way of life.
Uh-huh.
Is this the Bodhisattva way of life?
Bodhisattva way of life, chapter 4.
Because I'm reading a book right now, and it's kind of like how to handle everything that's going on, that salesman woman.
Yeah.
And I like it because it talks about really tough stuff and it talks about good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a nice balancing act. But it's time for me to pick that up again.
So it is classified for like a kind of like 5 categories. That 48 stanza, the chapter 4 has a 48 stanza divided into the 5 categories, right? The first category, how to be mindful or how to be heedful on your the priority practice. It's just 11 stanzas there. And another 10 stanzas talks about how to be heedfulness on your practice. So, and associating that the practice divided into 3, that you are restraining all this negative, engaging virtues. So those goes one by one. The first the category, which is how to need to be conscientiousness on your priority practice. That's depend, we can talk on it. So therefore this for the 11 stanza, I'm not going to one by one. I will pick it up, which is useful in our daily life. And then that's how it goes, okay? Yeah. Any question?
Somebody asked, is there a single print, I think they mean a translation, of the Bodhisattva's way of life that you recommend?
Single press means.
One the translation is good, and one the translation isn't, and I can't remember which.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different versions.
Yeah, you said you brought a book?
No, he emailed me the
What is the single praise means?
They're asking, I believe,
The book,
what translation do you recommend?
Oh, I see.
there's different authors on
Yeah.
it. We have a couple of books downstairs, I think, too.
Is just that you will send us the link?
The
Or
new-
I have to buy
I'll
the
add
book?
I can send you guys a
I'll add
link
it to the calendar.
No
I'll add it
Yeah.
to the calendar.
But like they're just asking like for recommendation.
So the Williams, what's it called?
William.
The one of the translator, Shanideva translator.
Yeah, I remember.
Earlier we use it.
We've used the Karma David Chippell version, and we've used the B. Allen Wallace version.
Yeah, B. Allen was the Karma. Yeah, he.
It's the yellow and black.
The new translation I only use for chapter 9 because the other do not have a stanza by stanza translated at chapter 9 because it's kind of like a commentary, writing as a commentary. So therefore I use that one. So
the B. Allen Wallace version has a unique aspect of it's Sanskrit. It's the Sanskrit translation and the Tibetan translation, and he has footnotes for.
I think this one is better. Yeah, this one is better.
Right,
Yeah.
I'll get the one from you, Chappelle, and I'll add it to the website.
Okay.
I also wanted to mention, for those of you who want to kind of restart your practice from the beginning in terms of Buddhism, that we're starting in April the 14th, Lamrim, from book 1. So right now, I know you're just finishing book 3, so we've been running this. This is more of those that really want to begin to study Buddhism. And it's basically the path to enlightenment, and it gives you the clear instructions of everything that you want to know from soups to nuts, from the very beginning to the end, how to find a teacher, how to practice, etc. So that starts again on April 14th.
Is
on
that
Tuesday night.
On Tuesday night?
Tuesday night from 7 to 8:30, online or in person.
But I just let you know, it's serious Buddhist.
It's for those that want to. But
That I will not use like a secular way.
Yeah.
So Sunday class, try to use it secular
This
way.
is for someone that says, you know what, I really want to learn more. This is the one that you would go to.
For experts only. It's for experts.
Okay.
Perspective.
Experts, I said.
Okay,
How
so
about meditation?
perspective expert, people who want to be
Wednesday,
experts.
every Wednesday night,
People who wants to become an expert.
every Wednesday.
Okay, so if the people do not have a question on online, yeah, we can stop here.
But try to come.
Yeah.
It's better in person.
How, and what time?
I learned